Good morning, everyone. I'm April Jane Galicia, taking Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Computer Education, and welcome here in Application Development and Emerging Technologies. So for today's video, I'm going to explain about the workflow, the structure, and the style. I will try my best to explain it in the simplest and easiest way for us to understand. So without further ado, let's begin. The workflow. Certainly, workflow generally refers to the series of tasks or processes that are carried out to achieve a particular goal or result. Workflows are common in various fields including businesses, project management, software development, and many others. So let's talk about the importance of text editors. Text editors are essential tools in the world of computing and programming. Text editors is the interface of creating, manipulating, text editing of plain text files. And some of the popular text editors that we are using now are the Notepad, the text edit in Mac OS, the Emacs, the Sublime Text, and the Visual Code, and many more. The choice of a text editor depends on the individual preference, workflow requirements, and specific needs of tasks on hand. On the next slide, we will learn how to install and configure text editor. And one of the popular text editor that I chose to teach you is the Visual Studio Code. Keep in mind that the specific step might vary slightly based on your operating system. These are just basic steps. You still need to refer with the documentation for each of text editors for more advanced configuration and features. So the next slide is about learning the significance of version control. So version control is a crucial aspect of software development and collaborative projects. It refers to the management of changes to documents, code, or any set of files over time. Version control system provide a systematic way to track documents and coordinate changes made by multiple contributors. So here are some of the key significance of version control. History and auditing. Version control system maintain a detailed history of changes made to the code or files. This historical record is invaluable for auditing purposes, allowing developers and project managers to track who made a change, when it was made, and in what specific changes were implemented. Second, collaboration. Version control facilitates collaboration among multiple developers working on the same project. It enables concurrent development by allowing developers to work on different branches of code base simultaneously. Teams can merge their changes, resolving conflicts efficiently. Third is branching and merging. Version control systems support branching, which allows developers to create separate lines of development. This is useful for working on new features, bug fixes, or experiment without affecting the main code base. Merging branches help integrate changes back into the main code. Fourth is code stability. Version control helps maintain code stability by allowing developers to work on their features or fixes in isolation. The main code base remains stable and only well-tested changes are merged back. This reduces the risk of introducing bugs or breaking existing functionality. Reproducibility. The ability to roll back to previous version of the code or files ensures reproducibility. If an issue is discovered in the current version, developers can easily revert to a known, stable state to investigate and fix the problem. Under conflict and resolution, in collaborative projects, Different developers may make changes to the same file simultaneously. Version control systems provide tools to identify and resolve conflicts that arise when two or more changes conflict with each other. This helps maintain the integrity of the code base. 7. Traceability. Version control system provide traceability, allowing developers to link changes to specific issues or tasks. This connection between code, changes, and project management tools enhances project visibility and helps teams understand the context of each modification. 8. Facilitates continuous integration or continuous deployment. Version control is a foundation element of CI and CD pipelines. Automated build and deployment processes rely on version control to trigger action based on changes in the code base, ensuring that new code is tested and deployed efficiently. 9. Backup and disaster recovery. Version control system act as a backup mechanism. The central repository serves as a backup of the entire project, and individual developers have local copies. In case of data loss or system failures, the project can be restored from the version control system. Last but not the least is the documentation. Commit messages in version control system serves as a form of documentation. Clear and descriptive commit messages to help team members understand the purpose and context of each change, making it easier to navigate the project history. Popular version control systems include Git, Mercurial, and SVN. Git in particular has become the de facto standard in the software development industry due to its disturbed nature and powerful branching and merging capabilities. So on the next slide, we will focus in installing and configuring Git, one of the widely most used version of control system that is used in different platforms like Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. These are basic configuration to get you started. You may explore more Git configuration options based on your preference and project requirements. It is also important to note that if you are using Git with platforms like GitHub or GitLab, you'll need to set up SSH keys for secure authentication. Remember to adapt the instruction to your specific preference and check the official documentation for the latest information on Git installation and configuration. So next is we will study about the different types of version control tools, which is categorized into main types, which is the CVCS, which stands for Central Version Control System, and the second one is DVCS, which stands for Distributed Version Control System. The two have individual advantages and uses. Choosing the right version control system. The choice between CVCS and DVCS depends on factors such as the size of the project, the development workflow, collaboration requirements, and the preference of development team. The DVCS is more common in modern software development due to its flexibility, support for distributed workflows, and the ability to work offline. Regardless of the type of version control system, the key goals are to track changes, facilitate collaboration, and provide a reliable history of projects development. Understand the essentials of how effectively use different browsers as a developer tools. Web developers often use various browsers such as development tools to inspect, debug, and optimize web application. The major web browsers such as Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge, and Safari provide built-in developer tools that offer a range of features. Here are some of the essential effectively using different browser as a developer to the document object model. It is a programming interface for web documents. It represents the hierarchical structure of an HTML or XML documents as a tree-like structure where each node in the tree corresponds to an element, attribute, or piece of text in the document. The DOM provides a way for programs to manipulate the structure style. Here's a simplified example of document structure. The tree structure reflects the nesting of HTML or XML elements. Parent-child relationship exists between nodes, with the document node at the top and the various element, attribute, text, and comment nodes forming the branches and leaves. In this example, the structure of the HTML document is represented as a hierarchical tree in the DOM where each tag corresponds to a node and the relationship between tags are reflected in the parent-child relationship nodes. In summary, HTML is used for structuring content and defining its meaning, while CSS is used for styling and presentation. They work together to create a well-designed and organized web page. HTML defines the structure and CSS enhance the visual presentation of that structure. To differentiate HTML and CSS, we all first need to know what hypertext markup and cascading style sheets are two distinct technologies used in web development to create and style web pages. Here's a brief differentiation between HTML and CSS. Understanding the significance of cascading style sheets in building a web page. CSS play a crucial role in building web page by providing a means to control the presentation and layout of HTML documents. Here are some key significances of CSS in web development. In summary, cascading style sheets are essential for web development because they provide the tools and mechanisms needed to control the visual presentation of web content, promote consistency, enhance and adapt to the diverse needs of modern web design. Differentiate tags and content and how they work alongside an HTML program. In HTML, tags and content are fundamental concepts that work together to structure and define the elements within the document. Let's differentiate tags and content and understand how they work alongside an HTML program. Understanding the relationship between tags and content is crucial for creating well-structured and semantically meaningful HTML documents. Tags define the document structures and content provides the actual information presented users. This combination of tags and content forms the basis of HTML markup and document organization on the web. So the next slide is about learning and understanding the different HTML validations, which helps to identify web development common issues and problems that can impact the functionality, accessibility, and performance of a website. Here are some different types of HTML validations. By regularly validating your HTML code using these tools and services, you can catch and fix issues early in the development process, ensuring that your website meets industry standards and performs well and provides a positive user experience. So bear with me, I'm starting to lose my voice. And lastly, for the structure, we have to learn how to visualize our own web page structure in order for us to have a bird's eye view of the HTML program. Visualizing the structure of our HTML program is essential for understanding the hierarchy and relationship between different elements on our web page. The workflow. Certainly, workflow generally refers to the series of tasks or processes that are carried out to achieve a particular goal or result. On the next slide, we will learn how to install and configure text editor. And one of the popular text editor that I chose to teach you is the Visual Studio Code. Keep in mind that the specific step might vary slightly based on your operating system. So the next slide is about learning the significance of version control. So version control is a crucial aspect of software development and collaborative projects. It refers to the management of changes to documents, code, or any set of files over time. Version control system provide a systematic way to track documents and coordinate changes made by multiple contributors. So here are some of the key significance of version control. History and auditing. Version control system maintain a detailed history of changes made to the code or files. This historical record is invaluable for auditing purposes, allowing developers and project managers to track who made a change, when it was made, and in what specific changes were implemented. Second, collaboration. Version control facilitates collaboration among multiple developers working on the same project. It enables concurrent development by allowing developers to work on different branches of code base simultaneously. Teams can merge their changes, resolving conflicts efficiently. Third is branching and merging. Version control systems support branching, which allows developers to create separate lines of development. This is useful for working on new features, bug fixes, or experiment without affecting the main code base. Merging branches help